And thank you so much. I'm so excited to be with you all today. And I cannot tell a better joke than ChatGPT, so it's not going to be a funny conversation, but I'm very excited to be with you all today. Awesome, let's get started. Before we get started, thanks for the introduction. I thought maybe I should tell a little bit about myself. So about my journey, I was born and raised in Iran. I went to Sharif University of Technology. I did my undergraduate in computer engineering. And then I went to Canada, Vancouver, and I got my PhD from UBC. And then I worked at a number of companies. Some of them were successful, some of them didn't make it. And as she mentioned, as Bonnie said, I was at Palo Alto Networks for 11 years. I joined the company when they were 30, 40 people, and I left when there were 8,000. So I saw hyperscale growth. And then 4.5 years ago, I joined Amplitude as the head of engineering, and it's been an amazing journey. So Amplitude, I don't know, how many of you know about Amplitude? Let's see. I don't know. OK, that's great. A lot of people know about Amplitude. That's exciting. We are the leader in digital analytics space, or basically we are helping companies to build better product with data. I'm excited to see people are using Amplitude. If you don't, go and try our free offering and try to basically make better product using data. And we have customers like DoorDash. Actually, I saw Sudhir. I don't know if he's here at DoorDash, who is using us. We have DoorDash, we have Atlassian, we have Under Armour, PayPal, and a number of other customers. And hopefully, we are helping them make better products. We are, publicly traded on NASDAQ, and we have about 700 employees and 2,400 plus paying customers. So before I talk about AI, let's tell you a little bit of the structure of engineering at Amplitude. So as I mentioned, our core product, our first product that we have built at Amplitude was analytics. It was about, we want to, for those of you who don't know, if you're building a digital product, you want to see how users are interacting with your product. So you're gaining all of the user behavior. If you say, for example, let's say it's e-commerce. You see a user logged in, they look at some items, they add it to the cart, they checked out, they log out. These are all events that the user are interacting with your product. So you basically send all of those events and user properties to Amplitude. And then you can come to Amplitude and analyze that data and decide, OK, how many users do I have? Why some people are dropping off? Why some people are becoming high-value customers? How can I change their behavior? How can I change my product so that their behavior changes? So that's basically the insight that you're getting, and that's our core offering, analytics. But we have other offerings too. Our CDP product is about how do I activate these insights. First of all, how do I get data in and out to different sources? But also, if I figure out these are the people who are gaining value out of, these are the people who are, looking at the item but they're not adding to the cart, or the people who are adding an item to a cart, but they're not checking out, let me go and send them a coupon and activate that insight, and maybe that nudges them to change their behavior. That's basically, you do targeting, and that's our audience manager and CDP product does. And then we have the experimentation product, how to do A/B testing. So our org structure kind of aligned along those product lines. We have a platform team that actually happens to be reporting to the same VP that owns the CDP, but we have the platform and we have all of these product lines. And actually, the way we have structured the team is like this. So we have a number of vertical pillars or teams that are responsible for customer-facing products. And each of them have their team members, the bets and the feature that they're delivering. And more importantly, they have metrics. Each team is not just about shipping feature, but about moving a metric. What metrics are they moving for their team? What does the North Star look like? And every week, we actually go and review those metrics and see, are we moving it, or should the team go back to the drawing board and figure out another way that they can change that metric? And of course, they have team, and we have a number of horizontal teams. And I draw the growth team that is serving across all of them, the platform team that is serving across all of these things. So that's high level our structure. And we also believe in three-in-a-pod model. Product, design, engineers are all working together. And they bring different perspectives, but they own the entire thing. So I don't believe in product thinks about the what and the why, and engineering think about the how. all of them need to be thinking about what are they building, why are they building it, what is the right team. Everybody is customer advocate. I joke and say, if I go to an engineer and say, why did you build this ugly product? And the engineer tells me, because the product management told me so, it's the wrong answer. But if they tell me, I thought it's going to be pretty, but it turned out to be ugly, then I'll say, okay, what are your learnings? So I think we really believe in that model of everybody working together and having the same goal. As I said, they have the same metrics that they're measuring all of them. So before we go, this talk is supposed to be about AI. I just told you about the org structure to give some introduction. But before I talk about basically AI, what are we doing, I think I want to mention that AI and ML has been part of Amplitude because we are doing analytics. Our goal is about how people understand their data. And actually, our goal has been to bring things that were used to be only available to the top teams that have the best data science team to do that. We wanted to bring this to the masses. And that's what we needed to have AI and ML capability for a long time. This is our actually founder. It's a picture of him trying to explain what do we do at Amplitude and what is the foundational thing that we have. Actually, our foundation, we call it our behavior graph. The idea is that you're getting all of these data about user behavior. There are two approaches before. One is that you put all of this in a flexible tool that you can run SQL on top of that and join and merge and analyze and get your insight that you're looking for. The good thing about it is that it's very flexible. It's like a general purpose computer. It's a SQL base. You can do anything. You can do any join that you want, and you can answer almost any question. The problem is that it's going to be slow, because if you're doing a lot of joins, you all know that it's going to be slow. And also, it's going to be expensive because you're doing all of that thing. So that's one end of the spectrum. And the other end of the spectrum, you have these tools that are basically pre-aggregated results. They're basically answering the questions that people know they're interested: the number of users, the retention, so on and so forth. So you have pre-calculated all of those answers, and you show it to the user. And we said none of these solutions go, because the one that is pre-aggregated, yes, it's fast, it's quick, it's inexpensive, but as soon as you want to ask a new question, you hit the wall. You cannot. So you have to go back to data science team or whatever, ask them for that question. So we said none of these are the right solution. We need a solution in the middle that can answer these complex queries in near real time, so people can explore and ask a question, get an answer, ask the next question, and so on. And we also know that all of these joins and complexities are happening across the user domain, because it's all about we are looking at the user behavior. So we decided to use that and actually build our own columnar data store so that you can do all of these joins and so much more efficiently, so that you can answer new questions that people haven't thought, that they're coming up as they're exploring in real time. So that's the foundation that we have in Amplitude, and we do all of these analysis and calculation on top of that. And then, let's see, my clicker works, yes. And then over the years, we have built a number of AI functionality on top of that. For example, the one on the left is about recommendation. You want to get product recommendation, you use Amplitude. Or, I mentioned you can create a cohort of users and send them a coupon based on their behavior. People who basically add an item to their cart but didn't check out. Let me send that coupon to them. That's a behavioral cohort. But we also added AI to do prediction. So let me predict their behavior. People who have the propensity of becoming, actually buying or becoming a subscriber or whatever important things is for your product, target that. So that's an AI-empowered thing. We also have clustering. So let me cluster all of my users and figure out what is the behavior among them. We have anomaly detection and root cause analysis. So let's look at the behavior. Where is the behavior changing? Or maybe I basically ship a product, and now my users in India are not getting, they're not having good behavior, good experience, and that's why one of my metrics is dropping. So detecting that, and of course the conversion drivers. What is driving people's behavior? So these are all some of our AI functionality and ML functionality that we have had in Amplitude to basically bring that capability to all of our users. But as we know, and I call them, these are kind of small AI models. And this is the graph that I like. It actually shows, it's very basic. All it's saying is that the difference between a small AI model and large AI model. In a small AI model, as you add more data, your performance of your model increases. But at some point, you plateau. You basically get to a plateau. The great thing about a large AI model and large language model, and we're all talking about, is that the performance grows as you add more data, and it basically has a lot more capacity. What has it done? It actually opens up new opportunities, as we all know, everybody's doing these days, is that by having this large AI model, now you can accomplish a lot of things that you needed before to build a special purpose model for that. You might be able to accomplish that with basic prompt engineering, or you can tune them much easier. So that is opening up a lot of opportunity for everybody, and also Amplitude. So as we said that, okay, we have this thing, so it's very important that we need to think about, okay, how do we do development? These opportunities are coming up for us. So the first thing that we said, let's just think about our point of view. Our point of view is that AI is not our strategy. It's a tool that helps us achieve our strategy. Our goal is to help people gain insight, very good, gain, understand their data and build better products. So AI should be helping humans in their path, and it's not replacing humans. So that, and then think about, okay, what are the things that people struggle with? Some basic thing, maybe naming something might be hard. Maybe searching might be hard. Maybe describing things might be difficult. So all of these things, we can use AI to help and improve that. So that's basically the core of that. The other thing I think is very important, we have done, and I think everybody, it's not rocket science, but it's important to be defining your principles before you get into the weeds of things, and figure out what is important for us. So we got together, of course, we have principles in product development all the time, and we got together and said, okay, these are our important principles. And that is going to help you when you're making decisions, know what is the right decision that you're making based on that principle. And actually, when I think about the principle, there are two aspects that is very important. One is about being a good citizen. What is a proper way of AI development as a good citizen? What is important? But another aspect is about the business. So, for example, for us, of course, privacy and protecting user data is very important. It's very important for being a good citizen. But it's also very important for us, so our customer trusts us to send their user data for us. So there's always, a combination of that. So that's how we came up with that. And for example, transparency is very important. Working with our partners is very important. And as I said, transparency is very important. We want to make sure that people know, if they're accessing any AI features or anything, they know that they're an AI feature. If we are, we have developed a lot of AI model in-house. We are basically have integration with OpenAI for something. We allow them opt-in or opt-out. They can decide. We are not sending any user data, but we are sending metadata, for example, to OpenAI. So we give them the opportunity to decide whether they want to opt-in or opt-out. And if they decide to opt-out, that's OK. They don't get the benefit. If they want to get the benefit, they do the opt-in. So I think these are very basic, but I think it's important to have that. And then the next step, as we talked about, taking on some of these things, is about AI design. Again, we say that, we are building product to improve people's experience. And AI-enabled products should be doing that, should be even doing it better. So it's very important that we do the right design process to figure out what is the user interested for. And I think one thing that is very important, when we do software development, we all will have development partners. So it was very important that we have AI design partners. These are people who are willing to work with us. I actually always say that if you cannot find a development partner, you should not be developing a feature. If you cannot find somebody who's willing to spend the time with you and help you, it means that your feature is not valuable. But if you're building something, and the same thing applies for AI, so find people, find customers who are willing to be part of be your partner, be part of your journey, so they can give you insight and you're feeling like you're building the right thing. So AI design partners have been very, very important for us. They help us, give feedbacks, do user research, share all of that feedback, and we have been working with them a lot. And an example of that is a feature that we developed, Amplitude Data Assist, that we released it in July. The idea is that the data governance is tough. because there are so many people involved, there's a lot of work that needs to be happening, but also as soon as you do it, 2 weeks later, the data gets messy, because now new data is coming. So we realized that we need to help, basically, this is an area that we can actually help data governance a lot by using AI. And we basically went back and said, okay, as you can see here, let's create some suggestions so people can clean up their data governance. And we mark them with that signpost so they know that these are AI features. Category, change your category. Set the category for your events. Add description, so basic things. And then we created a scoring based on that, like you have your credit score that shows how well you're governing your data. And I think that was very valuable, because we realized people who are governing their data, the quality of their data is better, they get better insight. But this gamifying and trying to improve your credit score or trying to improve your governance score actually helped people. And one other thing that, for example, we learned as we work with our AI design partner was that, as I said, the data we do well, our score gets better, and suddenly, quickly, it drops, the quality drops. So they told us that it's very valuable to make sure that we get real-time feedback. So as the data comes, we get these anomalies. Okay, for example, in this example, saying that the volume decreased on some of your events. So something happened, either your instrumentation changed, or somebody's doing something. So that's something that is very important for you to go and take action. So show this feedback so people can remain on top of their taxonomy and basically improve and follow the best practices. And we could only do that by actually working closely with our AI partners. The other thing that I want to quickly touch base is that, as I mentioned earlier, prompt engineering is becoming a phenomenon these days. You can achieve so much by doing prompt engineering. This is becoming a very wanted skills for engineers to do. So a couple of fun points that I want to say, and we have learned, and I'm sure a lot of you know, but I think it's important to be thinking about. First is that prompt engineering is an infinite task. Why is it? You're basically prompt engineering on top of another model, whether you're using OpenAI model or whether you have your own open source model. And these models that you're sitting on top of that and prompt engineering are changing. They're improving, hopefully. But you don't know whether that change is going to impact what you're relying on. So it's very important that, similar to all software development, you have proper unit testing and proper testing, source of truth testing, so that you can be notified if something in the model changed and you are relying on that and behavior change, and you can take the right action. So that's the first thing that we need to make sure, if you're doing that, you're really thinking about that. And the other thing that we learned was that it has to be a team sport. You have to have a collaboration between the data expert and the prompt specialist and product engineer to basically do that properly. And one of the things that we did, this is a snapshot of a prompt engineering tool that we have developed, and actually we built on top of our own experimentation. So anybody who's working in that project can come and add a new prompt. They can change some of these things, and they can set the temperature or max entry and so on and so forth. But they can also define a variant. This is the variant that we have, and they can define an experiment. These are the people that I want this to be exposed to, and then try that and see whether this is winning is the right thing or not. But that enables a lot of people, product manager, engineer, work together and actually improve that. And this is one of the features that we built based on that is the Ask Amplitude. The idea of Amplitude has always been that we want to bring what used to be available to very specialized people to the masses, so people can come and query and analyze and slice and dice their data. But even with that, it's much easier than writing a SQL statement. But you have to know which chart shall I use? Shall I use the event segmentation, or shall I use funnel analysis? Which events should I pick, and so on and so forth. We said, and it has been challenging for some people to get on board and get started to basically understand that. We said, what if we just use an LP, right? What if we let people ask questions? What does my number of my monthly active user look like? What does my retention look like? And basically, we translate that into some of these parameters using AI to basically create that conditions of the chart that is going to get generated. And also one other thing is that not only we can do that, but also we can look and see who else in the organization had maybe created something like that. So not only rely on creating new content, but also rely on the existing content in the organization. So that's what we did. And actually, one thing that that we rolled it out. One thing that is very important, and I think it's very important for all of us to do, is that to get feedback from the users. And actually, when Bonnie was asking a question of give me thumbs up, thumbs down, do you like this joke, or do you not like this joke, I actually realized I never give thumbs up and thumbs down. When they show me, I never provide any survey. I'm too lazy. So if you want to get the feedback, a lot of people are like Shadi that they don't provide feedback. So how do you actually get the right feedback? And I think it shouldn't be about people telling you, it's about what people do. So for example, in our example of Ask Amplitude, we provide that chart. People ask a question, we come up with a chart, we show them. So we can ask them to give us whether it's good or bad, but we can also look at their behavior. Are they saving a chart? If they're saving a chart, that kind of implies that they're gaining value. They also look at when they see a chart, they look at all of the parameters. If they're going and changing some of these parameters and then they're saving, that's also another signal that tells us that maybe some of these parameters were not set correctly. So I think it's very important as we're developing AI model, we actually look at the user behavior and based on that, decide whether the model is good and or not good, and take that to basically improve the model. We are at time. This is recorded there. What is next? Sorry, I want to be done. Sorry, I ran over. I think one of the things that we talk about is a large behavior model, that now we can build more behavior model on top of that. And the future, I think, is a self-improving product. Just to finish it off, these are the key takeaway. AI is a tool, not strategy. Define our principles, make sure that AI design and AI design partnership, and measure and improve the model using behavior. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you for listening so we can go to questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you're doing a lot. That was a lot for sure. And there's a lot of questions too. So
awesome.
Let's get to it. Do you have any clients that use Amplitude for their internal enterprise tools?
We have clients who use Amplitude to basically for either understanding the product analytics, or for example, to think about, they use it for the feature flagging. They use it when they're deploying software. They also look at it to basically measure to see if my deployment actually caused issues or actually was fine. So there are different aspects that they're using Amplitude.
Interesting. Okay. Next question. Love your point about the performance of large versus small AIs. Can you share examples of small and large AIs that are in use at Amplitude?
Yeah. So I can say, a lot of models that we have built ourselves are actually on a smaller size. So and we have not spent billions of dollars training large AI models. We have not done that. We have used fine-tuning some of the existing large models that we have used, and also we have prompt engineer on top of the existing large AI models. But I feel that's what I was saying. The future is that going and spending and building large behavioral models, that's what we need to be thinking and undertaking.
All right. Have you implemented a RAG system, red, amber, green? If so, can you elaborate?
No, we have not implemented that. Yeah.
Okay. How do you meet privacy regulations? This one's got a typo, I think, so I'm going to just assume. How do you meet privacy regulations if you bring customers' data to a third party, in this case, OpenAI?
Yeah. That's a very good question. So we are not sending user data to OpenAI. As I mentioned, is that if you're using anything with the user, the customer data, it's all modern in-house. But we might be sending metadata to OpenAI. So for example, for the name of a field, this doesn't have any user, any PII information. This is just the name of what do I name that field? Those are the information that we might be saying for to OpenAI. That's what is important. That's a very good question.
Okay. I think there's probably a lag in the Slido app, but we can open it up to see if there's any questions from the crowd, maybe? There's one way back here.
Hello. I'd like to ask how you build integration tests around LLMs, given that sometimes the answers vary. So
Yeah, so I think that's a very important point, and that's what I mentioned, is that you have to basically create, a number of the source of truth. And you're relying on that system, and the system might be changing underneath. So a number of test cases actually similar to what you're doing for your normal use case, normal test cases. So you have to think about what these are the criteria that are important for me. This is what I expect, and run those tests. And we have a number of this to make sure that we detect issues when it happens before a customer detects. But testing is always you can do more and you can improve better.
All right, any other questions from the crowd? It's hard to see. Any questions from the back? No? Okay. All right, well, I have one question for you.
Yes.
Is there something that you enjoy so much that you completely lose track of time?
Actually, it used to be coding and debugging when I was younger. So I remember my mom would come at my room, and I have completely lost track of time because I was debugging something. I always joke and said, I like watching Sherlock Holmes and mystery movies, but when you're debugging an actual problem, you're acting like a detective, and it's very exciting. But the good thing about it is that when you watch a movie or watch a mystery, at the end they miss something, and it's a downer. Okay, oh, they missed that thing. But when you're actually finding the root cause of the problem in the system, you can explain every behavior of the system, and that gives me a big high. But unfortunately, I'm not doing as much coding and debugging because I'm joking and I'm becoming overhead at where I am. So these days, a lot of time I lose track of time by walking in the nature. I think that's very exciting.
Just like disconnecting from everything.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been a great talk. I hope your audience agrees. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.